Hey guys, how are you doing? So today I'm going to be presenting my chalk talk. The title of my research paper is the prepubertal subchronic exposure to soy milk and glyphosate leads to endocrine disruption by Jessica Nardi and Patricia Bonamingo Moras. So I chose this research paper because I was very interested in the potential effects of soy that can have in our bodies. What I really like about this research paper is that it was very easy to follow through and it was very simple to understand. But what I also didn't like about this research it lacked resources, so they couldn't do any further research that could help their conclusions. And that's another thing what I didn't like, because their conclusion was very simplistic, very short, and but at least they gave a very good explanation at the very end. So that should be very appreciated for the lack of resources they have. They decided to conduct this research because it was brought to their attention concerned the consumption of soy-based products on children in breastfeeding period. So one important thing to know is that the reason they were giving children soy milk is because it was considered an alternative for milk and breast milk. Because as you know, the children with lactose intolerance, they can't drink any milk. So from this research paper is that soy milk actually contains phytoestrogens, which is a type of hormone that mimics estrogen. And as you may know, is that there are a lot of types of hormones that mimic our body hormones. For example, a hormone that mimics testosterone, and in this case, is phytoestrogen that mimics estrogen. So it says here that it's a substance with known estrogenic activity. One important thing to know here is that in this research, they use glyphosate for their experiment, and glyphosate is used as herbicides in soy crop fields. Okay, so materials and methods. So the experiment was conducted in 23-day-old male Wistar rats. They were divided into 4 groups, 5 animals per each group. The treatment was administered daily for 35 days through a gavage. I don't know if they meant average, considering a volume of 10 milliliter per kilogram. The control group received a saline solution. The soy milk control group received soy milk. The glyphosate 50 group received soy milk plus 50 milligram per kilogram. The glyphosate and the glyphosate 100 group received soy milk plus 100 milligrams per kilogram glyphosate. The animals were housed in individual cages to allow individualized evaluation of body weight gain and toxicity signs. The food and water were provided and animals were subjected to a 12-hour light-dark cycle. So here I'm going to show you the results. Here in figure 1, they tested the testosterone levels. So as you can see here, the control group had a significantly larger amount of testosterone levels compared to the soy milk control, the glyphosate, and the glyphosate 100. So the take here was that the glyphosate 100 was significantly smaller compared to the control group, meaning that the higher the amount of glyphosate, the lower the testosterone levels were in the rats. So here in figure 2, they decided to check the relative weight. So here in figure 2, they found an increase of weight in the Cauda epithedemis. That's the Cauda epithedemis is where the sperm matures. So you can see here that the glyphosate 100 was had a higher weight of the organ. So here in figure 3, they found a significant reduction of spermatids that are resistant to homogenization. So one important thing to know about spermatids is that they end up becoming sperm cells. So as you can see here in the control group, there was a higher amount of spermatids and in the testicles compared to the rest. So as you can see here, the trend is that the higher the soy milk and the glyphosate, the lower the testosterone levels are gonna be. So here in figure 4, they show the significant difference between the soy milk and the glyphosate 100. The only thing they found is that there was only a significant difference between these two, where the diameter of the semifinals tubules was significantly smaller here compared to the soy milk control. So here in figure 5, they decided to test the sperm morphology. The sperm morphology means normal or abnormal changes in the sperm, but in the case of this experiment, they were only checking for abnormal morphology. So as you can see here from this graph, it's significantly obvious that almost 40% of the sperm was abnormal compared to control, which control only had like less than 20% of abnormal sperm compared to the glyphosate. So it's pretty bad that it's actually that bad, that it's almost half of the sperm. It's deformed or abnormal. So here in figure 6, they're only showing the testicular histology. The figure 6A only shows the control group. B shows the soy milk group. C only shows the 50 milligrams per kilogram glyphosate and the 100 milligram per kilogram glyphosate. This histology was used to check the data from the graphs. So here in this table, they were just only doing the cell count of the spermatids, the elongated spermatids number, the sterile cells number, the Leydig cells number, the sterile cells degeneration percent, and the Leydig cells degeneration percent. So overall, they found that there was enough evidence that glyphosate impairs male reproductive system by affecting numerous components in prepubertal exposure. So yes, indeed, glyphosate actually impairs sperm and as well soy milk. They affect all the material components. So the conclusion, they concluded that for the first time, so this experiment was done for the first time, is that the sexual development is more affected in groups receiving soy milk supplemented with glyphosate. So my take from this experiment is that soy milk actually has an effect, can have a potential negative effect on children. They could probably, in males, for example, they can probably have a negative effect on puberty. It could probably block, it could potentially block puberty on males, and in females, it could potentially accelerate menstruation. But that's still done. But because this is something very new, there's not enough research to make those type of conclusions. So that's just my assumption, my theory. So that's it. So hey guys, I want to show you my cat. His name is Felix. Yeah, he's 6 years old. Say hi, Felix.